welcome back to the Ledger Lounge. Joined by myself here, Lauren Thompson and Katie Allen. And we've... Is that your name as well? Katie Allen.
Katie Allen. Oh, what you were saying, Katie and Allen.
I know her last name is Allen.
Okay.
And we're joined by Mr. Alan Beak, the man behind Ruger.
Hello. That was my cue then. So, hi, hello.
So Alan is one of our clients at James Scott, and he's very kindly agreed to come on our podcast to tell his story and discuss a little bit about his businesses.
Kindly, he's going to be invoiced.
We'll get into how you got into barbering and how you started out, maybe what you did before and your journey that led into barbering.
Okay. So from a very, very young age, I loved going to the barber shop, like being messed around with. I was like a proper little boy. Like someone touching my hair and making me feel good. And I was that kind of like, you know, if you look better, you feel better. So at the age of about 12 years old, I walked into the shop where I was going to, and I'd already been building myself up to ask them for a job. I was only 12, I was in first year of school, and I was building myself up. I thought, right, how do I do it? And then as soon as I walked in there, my brother Reese, he just went, Alan wants a job here. So he actually did it for me. So they would turn around and said, is that true? I was like, yeah. It is true. The Band-Aid was ripped off, and they said, look, you know, if you want to come and do a trial, come and do a trial on Thursday, and if you want to, you can start on a Saturday. That was it.
And that's at 12 years old?
12 years old, yeah.
Wow.
I used to get the bus in the morning on a Saturday, 8 o'clock, and work there until 3, and they had me doing everything. I'm talking skirting boards, clean the cars, chopping Mars bars up into 5 pieces, feeding them, literally coming over, putting it into his mouth, everything you can think of.
Feeding the
yeah,
barber.
he was cutting hair, and he didn't like hair on his food, so he didn't want to pick it up.
Oh my
Genuinely, everything you could imagine, I was doing. Cleaning everything, but I loved it. I liked that. I'm quite OCD anyway. My mum would have me do jobs at home. And so then when I got there, I knew exactly how to clean. I knew what to do. And I did that for 7 years on a Saturday, up until the age of 19. And the only reason why I stopped at 19 was because at 17, I started working in a bar, worked my way up to become like a bar manager, then became a restaurant manager, then became a chef, worked in the kitchen, and just thought if I needed to do something in that restaurant, I wanted to be as high as I could. I wanted the responsibility. I liked it. I liked the eustress of the pressure. And but then 21 years old, being in a kitchen, managing it, it was a lot of responsibility. And with that responsibility becomes the distraction of getting out of it. So I lived above it. It's there. You're drinking all the time. You're doing anything to suppress that pressure. And the lads saw it and said, like, I think that's enough now, Al, you've done your bit. Unless you're going to go on further, why don't you come back? They had someone that was leaving, and they were really, really close. Like the guys we used to work for, Jason and Stephen, beautiful men. They're like fathers. They were brilliant. They taught me some very, very valuable lessons, but they were tough. They were very firm, but they were fair. They called it the University of Life.
So
and it was true.
Mentored you?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they trained me, and they're kind of like, barbering was very traditional Italian and was very, very disciplined. It was very unique. It was different to all the other barber shops. They never called themselves the barbers. They were men's hairstylists, which I loved. I loved that. Went back and working for them, and I just thought, right, if I'm doing this now, I'm going in. I need to, like, every dimension I can go into with cutting hair, I need to do. So I went to college, started training, but I was working in industry. I was in the shop, so the other people around me weren't. So within 3 months, I was teaching my own class. Wow. I was in there and demonstrating. And I had a little moment with the tutor, a woman called Janice Collins, beautiful woman. She advised me not to do something which was against what she was teaching. And she said, why have you done that? And it was basically whether you do a technique, whether the hair was wet or dry. And I said wet and I explained to her. And then I demoed and showed her why I was doing it that way. And she said, would you like to get into teaching? I said, definitely. She said, right, well, we're going to get you in now. So I hadn't even finished my level 2, and I'd already started kind of like learning how to teach.
God. That's a bit crazy. I mean, I've never heard that before. You must have then got an instant pass on the course if she's asking you to teach.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is like an assessor awards, so that's kind of like assignment led, and you're watched and observed, and if you can execute the kind of teaching skills, then that's it, it's done. And then obviously went on to do a little bit more teaching in the college, but I was working in the salon, and other like people that were there, it just wasn't very relevant. It wasn't very current what they were teaching. So I asked to change the curriculum, but because I changed it and my standards were higher, the success rate of that class went down. So not everyone was passing because my standards were higher. So then on year 2, they said, look, we need to go back to normal. Year 3, sorry, it was year 3.
That doesn't look good for them, does it?
No, it's their budgets, it affects their funding, it affects everything. So it was a case of, look, we need you to draw it back in again. You need to do this. And I just thought, nah, this is not the arena I want to be in. I don't want to do that. Especially if people are leaving. People were sending, because I was getting a name for myself, people were sending their apprentices to college because I was teaching them. But then I couldn't fulfill the needs of each one of the pupils because I was having to dumb down my standards. So I'll leave and I'll just do some freelance. So I put it out there, did like 2 or 3 classes that sold out instantly, and thought, right, I need to go further afield. But what I'd done is I'd done a demonstration for Oldham College at a hair show called Pro Hair Live in Manchester. I was comfortable. I don't really get nervous. Obviously, I was a bit, before we went on and my heart was beating fast. And
what age are you at this point?
23, 24.
Right. Still pretty young.
Yeah. And I'd only started at 21. So I did a demo on stage, and then someone else from the British Barbering Association saw me and said, can you do something similar for us at this show? And then that person, went on to someone else, and then that was it. And then it just spiraled. I couldn't teach. I could be a full-time educator right now, but the shop is where it is at for me. That's what I love. Love the shop, and it takes away a lot of time. I mean, I have educated all over the world now. I've been everywhere, and the money's great, but it takes you away from your shop, it takes you away from your business, it takes you away from your family. That was the big one.
So at what point did you actually set up the Ruger Barber shop?
It's 11 years ago.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so it was 11 years ago. It was a case of, I was in Stephen Kane, which was the first shop, and it was a walk-in shop, and people were coming in waiting. There'd be like 5 or 6 people waiting. People would drive past the shop, looking and think, well, it's busy, I'm not going in. And people were sat there waiting. Like the barbers were sat waiting because, it looked busy, but it weren't. They were just people waiting for me. So they say when you've got a column that's completely full, or you've got your client list is full, you up your prices, or you get your own shop. So I couldn't put my prices up because that would offend the people I was working for. So it was a simple case of, I actually gave them a proposal and said, like, I'd like to buy into the shop. I'd like some involvement in here. And then suggested, I said, there's a shop not far up the road that's going to be free. You can go up there, charge more, take appointments. And they just said, no, I mean, it was their baby. It was theirs.
Yeah.
So I was imposing on, their business, and someone's tried to do it to me and said, like, I want to buy in. And I've said, no, not a chance.
Yeah, because it's your little baby that you've created.
It's my idea, mine and Reese's idea, and it was our ideology of what we wanted to do, what the brand stood for. So I just thought, well, they're not going to let me in, I need to go. So I went to that shop that I suggested, and that's when we started it. And I've not looked back since. And the grey hair's come thick and fast.
I mean, you've got your own little empire around that Ruger Barbershop now, haven't you? So do you want to tell us a little bit about the other little parts that you've got going on around the barbershop? Like
I said, I wanted to be multidimensional. I remember saying to someone in Turkey about 20 years ago that I wanted to create a brand around cutting hair. Wanted it to be multifaceted with different things. I said, I've already thought about creating a product line. I wanted to go in male grooming. I wanted to go into dog grooming. I wanted to do all these different things. And he literally, it's the best fuel, but he looked down at me and said, like, mate, you're just a barber. It was quite a back street job. 20 years ago it was. If you couldn't get a decent job somewhere, you just became a barber. And it's the same. I've got like friends in Romania, and he put a post on the other day, like saying, I'm now a 6-figure barber. And when I was at school, if you did really bad at school, you became a barber. And that is what I'd was my kind of idea of it when I was that age, but that's why I thought, nah, I'm going to take it to a new level. So maybe 15 years ago, we had someone approach the shop. He was typical sales, black suit, black briefcase, walked in, and Jane Steve said, you can deal with that. He came in and it was a white label company for products, and nice bloke. Had a chat with him, continued to like have a relationship with him, and said to the guys, look, we're going to take these products in. I'll sort it all out. We'll put your brand on it, your name, Stephen Kane, and let's go from there. But I maintained this relationship with the formulator. We discussed other products, helped him test them, go through them. I started designing more. I knew where there was a gap in the market for kind of like more natural products rather than them being tacky, sticky, shiny, oily. Everything was oil-based. So anyone that's listening would know Dax wax, which was like a red, it was like candle wax. And then there was another one called black and white, and that was just like Vaseline. But those were the products at the time, and that's what everyone used. I used them.
That's nice to wash out of your hair.
Awful. It's the worst thing in the world. So, everyone was using these products, and I said, there needs to be, I started looking into ingredients, started looking into ratios, mixes, the properties of each one of the ingredients, and Dennis was just like, right, we're onto something here now. But then we were selling loads. I was doing demonstrations, and we used to use a product called American Crew, which was the avenue I wanted to go down. The marketing was brilliant. The point of sale was amazing. And I said, I can cut hair better than these pictures, these images of these models. I can do better point of sale. I can do better hairstyling. So that was the kind of the fuel then. I wanted to go, right, we'll make some products, we'll do the branding. And that's what I started doing. So we started producing the products. Then we started customizing our own. So they were bespoke to us. But as we got to that point, I left Stephen Kane. And as I left with that contract. So I didn't have the contract. The contract was with Stephen Kane, not me. So it was a case of, I messaged him and said, look, obviously, you're saying that I can't use the products anymore. He said, yeah, well, they're ours. I'm like, they're not yours.
It's got your name on it.
Yeah, but it was just a case of, I get it, I completely understand. Business is business. Anyone that says to me this day, I don't have anything to do with, because I can't stand that. When people say business is business, they'll do anything to get you. Charlatans, they want to make money. I can be quite naive in thinking that I want to be friends and in business. And those are the people that I am now still in business with. Anyone that's got that ruthless streak, I don't want anything to do with.
I think it's important in any business relationship to have that level of friendship and respect.
Yeah, absolutely. The reciprocity has got to be there for both sides, and it's got to be mutual respect all the way through. The second that someone's like, business is business, all right. I can say it in a playful term, like we were talking before about whether Brendan pays for his haircut or not.
Sorry, Brendan.
And obviously that's the only time in which I say, well, no, business is business. Yeah. He charges me, I charge him. That's it. That's the only way in which I'd use it. But anyway, we had to come up with a way, and it wasn't conjure up a plan. It was just, right, how do we get through this? Because we used other products, didn't like them. Tried other formulators, didn't like them. They just didn't get it. And it's certain ingredients and we knew that was being used. One called kaolin. It's a Japanese clay. It's a natural clay. That's what we needed. Dennis had all the contacts for it. So he said, look, there is a way in which we can do this. His son was coming up through the ranks. We ended up having a bit of a business partner. We kind of deal with his son. Patrick is amazing, but he's a business is business kind of guy. Right. But I do love him. But we did a little bit of work together, and what they did was they separated the companies. So Dennis had one part, Patrick had another, which allowed us then to continue working. So then it was a case of I felt a bit stung, felt a bit hard done by. I had a little wallow time, a little hippo time.
Because you'd put a lot of time and energy into
effort, and money.
Yeah,
time, effort, money, everything. And obviously he was continuing to sell obviously other white label stuff to other people that we've developed and helped him with. So it was a case of, right, well, I'll do it, but I want you to go in. I want exclusive rights to this. I want exclusive rights to that. And he just said, okay, you can have it. And that's where it kind of started. That's when the Ruger products, the product brand really, really started. And we started on one. It was a case of, look, think of a hero. What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to smell like? How do you want it to feel? What do you want the look to be? And we made it. And it probably took a couple of years, but Essential was born. And Essential is our bestseller by far.
So that's the first product
The
that you made?
first product that we made,
What is that?
It's a water-based matte clay that smells like Creed Aventus that makes your hair look really soft, really natural, but it's got a really good hold.
Right.
It's like every man can wear it. I'll bring you some down, Matt. I'll bring you some. You'll like that, mate. I should have brought some, actually. But I tend to have it.
Yeah, you should have had them all, yeah.
I do tend to keep like it in my car. I always take extra on holiday. I always meet someone, talk about someone. You always meet someone on holiday, don't you? And you tell them what you're doing. They're like, "Oh, you'll have to send us something." It's like, I've actually got something.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Here's this little travel case.
You got one in a briefcase.
I've not brought any clothes with me. I've just got a suitcase full of products.
But that is the way it works. It's like I always find I don't spend a lot of money on marketing. Because obviously the brand being having quite a good social media presence anyway, I find that giving the product out is the best thing to do.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend £400-500 on a week on giving the product out than on videos.
Yeah.
Because once they've used it, they'll never go back. You buy domestically and you buy from a supermarket and it is all laced with petroleum jelly, which is the cheapest form of matter that you could put in your hair ever. So then using the kind of salon grade products that we use and how good they are, they'll never ever go back.
So it's not just hair that you do. There's lots of different elements of Ruger. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what else is under your Ruger umbrella?
Yeah. So I think what barbers lack, or hairdressers lack, is the ability to kind of have a pension. They don't do it. So I did my own podcast. Got my own. It's called Barber Soup, if anyone wants to listen. And I was talking about assets and liabilities. And I said, I really, really want to own my own shop. That's going to be our pension. That will look after us. And instead of paying rent, we'll pay into, obviously, a mortgage. Get that paid off. And then there we go. We've got an asset. So one of my clients actually listened to that podcast and he owned a building around the corner. So he came in and said, I've got something you might be interested in. I listened to your podcast. I said, what is it? He said, a building around the corner. He said, but it might just be a bit too big if you wanted to use a bit of it. I went, let's go and have a look now. He went, well, not now. I said, well, no, I've got 10 minutes. Let's go now. You can't dangle the carrot and not expect me to go. My ADHD was like, no, I need to see it now. So we went around the corner, looked at the building. And I just said, get it valued. Because I knew that it would be low just because of the state of the building. It looked like it was in disrepair. It was derelict, parts of it. Parts of it was being used as a substation. It was just run down. So we got it valued. A couple of months of me pestering him. I said to him, that's how much I'll give you for it. He said, it's worth more. So we did a little deal. And it was like, right, how can we turn this kind of entire thing on like a rental model to make the entire square footage of this building make us money? So it took us a year to get the building, back and forth from James Scott, the brokers, everyone. It was a nightmare. I put a picture of the building on the inside of my garage door. So every time I worked out and every time I left my house, I'd seen it. And then I put a board up that said all my little cheesy affirmations on there. And I put countdowns on a counter for every day that I didn't get it and job lists. And then a year later, we finally got it through. So we turned the bottom floor into a barbershop. The middle floor was, at the time, it was a co-working coffee space. Post-lockdown, everyone was working from home or remotely. But the essence was there. You can come in, you can work. It's a coffee shop also. Top floor was an apartment. We had a big storage part of the building, and that's our product company. And we spent 2 years and £560,000 to do it. It's in Springhead Lees area, just off Hartshead Street. It's a lovely building now. But it's taken a long time to get it to where it is. But as it stands today, the barbershop's on all the lower level. There is someone else who's just took over as like a partnership. We've gone into business together. The guy called Kieran O'Reilly. He's named it Fjord, like a Norwegian fjord. So it's a Ruger fjord, and he's absolutely smashing it. So he's got like a Michelin background, and he's doing really, really well. On the other side, there's a flat roof terrace as well, where you've got an outside eating area, drinking area, and then the apartment on the top floor, and then obviously our product company's still there. But that's the kind of the business as it stands now.
So So there's loads of elements of creating the product, which we've talked about the creative side behind it. But there's also the numbers side. So the numbers have got to work for the company to succeed, aren't they? So how did you at first decide your pricing of the products?
So obviously once we've got, like, one of the best things about, we have like a few formulas that we work with now. With one of them, I have to buy the packaging, the labelling, get that sorted, and then they get filled, hot poured in their factory. Whereas our original formulator, he does all of that. So he does the packaging, the labelling, the products. Once we've got that pricing in, we can then factor in what we're going to do wholesale, what we're going to do retail, so B2B and B2C. And I can't remember how I first initially did it. I probably just guessed it.
Was it like finger in the air?
It was literally a guesstimation. It was a wing. There's a structured wing, but it was a case of, look, if we're going to, and again, it's like the current market as well. So we know what goes into it. We know how good the ingredients are. And we know that in supermarkets, a matte clay is this much. And then we know the top end, let's say at the time, it was like Hans de Foucault, they're charging this much. Let's find this happy medium of where it's affordable, but also there's a good markup on there. So that was kind of like my thought process back then. But then what we had to do was look at how we retail it and then how we wholesale it as well. Because I took the products to a few shows, took it to America, took it to Canada, took it to Australia. And then people were like, we want to use this. We want it. So I was like, right, well, it was obviously some time ago where I remember we were putting everything through as Ruger, the business, Ruger Barber, the barbershop. All the products were going through it. Then I started putting through the wholesale amounts, and then Brenda was like, right, well, these need separating now. As always, I was like, Brendan, get our tax down. Get the tax down, please. And he's like, well, he's two separate companies, so that needs to be a standalone company. And then that's where I remember setting the company up and thinking, right, that's it. It's a company now. Started marketing it, got loads of little pots, started filling them up for days and days and days, getting obviously big jars, and then just filling them up, putting stickers on them. Did them all the way through lockdown, started really, really, really promoting it, sending them out. If we ever need some of the pots doing now, my mum will sit there in the front room and she'll do them.
Oh, bless her.
My mum obviously works for the company and she's phenomenal at her job.
Yeah.
She's great. Keep it in the family.
Yeah, why not? And I only know this because you're my client and I do all the stuff for your companies.
Thank you for everything that you do, Lauren.
You're very welcome. But you are shipping a lot of your products now outside of the UK, and you've built quite a loyal customer, because every quarter that I do your VAT return,
you can see the names.
I can see the same names coming in, and you're exporting them out of the country. How did you build that relationship between somebody that's not even in the UK to become such a loyal customer?
It's a very, very niche kind of industry, barbering and hairdressing, because once you've met people on digitally met them on social media, when you actually do meet them face to face, they're your best friends. They're mine. I'm theirs. I went to Hungary and did a show there. I met some amazing people. Took the products, I used them on stage. I did like a little, call it a masterclass or a workshop in a salon. And when I was in there, I said the same thing, same technique every time. Guys, I'm going to leave these here for you. Like, I left them an array of different products. 2 weeks later, I get a phone call. Like, we want to stock them. We want to use them. Okay. So how do you want to go about it? I'll send you the prices for wholesale. Obviously, all you need to do is pay your shipping and any charges you get. And now they're our biggest distributor in Hungary. They're massive. Wow. They're brilliant. Yeah. They sell them all over Europe, actually. Sell them all over Europe now. They sell them to other businesses, and they sell them retail, and they do really, really well with it. So they're promoting the brand more than I am.
Yeah.
Same with Russia. Went to Russia, left the products there, sent some over. And there's a company a distribution company that took on the products, and they're called Galore. They sell products from all over the world, and they're heavily invested in Ruger over there now. So
you've got this loyal base of customers inside and outside the UK. So you've started pricing at a certain point, and you must have, as the years have gone by and the products have developed and established themselves, sort of repriced?
Yeah. So we had a price increase from our supplier, which is inevitable. Happens every so often.
It's got to be passed on.
Yeah, so it had to be passed on. But there was this big stop with Russia a couple of years, about 18 months ago. Price went up, their prices didn't go up, missed the boat there with everything, realised that there was no commission, there was no kickback, there was nothing from it. So unfortunately I had to say, like, there's no point in manufacturing the product, sending it out. If there's the only person that's getting profit from it is the formulator, the supplier. So, I said it's the brand that's the selling point. It's the products that was created. So we've just renegotiated all the prices now. So it's difficult to run different parts of the business with 2 kids and a dog, and hopefully in a few weeks a new parrot. And to try and keep track of everything, I can't do it. So I missed that, and that was 18 months of profit that I missed. So when there is a kind of price increase now, we do reevaluate it, and it is what it is. There's so much, what's the word? So much anxiety about raising prices because of what people are going to think. But at the end of the day, if you want your business to survive, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
I think if they believe in the product though as well, and they've been returning customers, then they probably are eventually expecting it to go up with inflation and everything else.
We talk a lot in work in general, don't we, about scope creep. So if you just set your prices out at a certain point and then just leave it, and once sort of 2 years, 3 years has gone by, because you've not done it incrementally, sort of every year that passes by in April, the prices of everything goes up. The council tax goes up, your phone bill goes up.
Business rates.
Everything goes up. So everything else is rising once a year. So you've got a product, you're going to at least once a year have to be raising the prices in line with the increase in your costs. And once you get sort of 2 or 3 years in and you've skipped a few of them, we see that jump from 1 year to 3 years down the line, it feels huge. Whereas if you'd have done 5% each year, it's a little bit more palatable for the customer.
It's easier for the customer to take as well. If you say it's gone up by £30 or whatever a month, all right, okay, because they'll think, well, my car insurance has gone up by whatever.
It's like your bill with us at James Scott. So
that's gone up. That's gone up. So
it's 12 months. So it's wage, national wage, minimum wage increase. So that's gone up. Employers' national insurance has gone up. So it's just everything goes up once a year. So then the price needs a review once a year.
I've just put the price up in the shop, and I've been cutting hair for almost 20 years now, and I've been in charge of my own prices for 11 and a half, almost 12 years. And every single time I've done a price increase, there's anxiety for weeks and months. Am I going to lose clients? Are they going to pull the face? The anxiety of it is worse than the actual physical thing of doing it. The motion you go through is nowhere near as bad as the action of doing it. It's because every time I've done it, I've been relieved afterwards, to the point where, we had a few price increases a couple of months ago, accountancy being one of them, but naturally. And I just...
Hopefully you're happy with your service.
Of course, I'm very happy. Hey, I'm here for free, aren't I?
Pay the increased price.
I'm here for free. I had no qualms. Honestly, a couple of months ago, I just said to everyone, okay, this is the price increase, 7%. Not a lot. And I want everyone to go up. And everyone just went, okay. I went, no. I want you to be happy about it. That means your wage is going up. Everything else has gone up. Our prices have gone up. Energy's through the roof. The prices need to go up. And no one batted an eyelid.
Yeah.
I had one person make a comment, but jokingly.
Yeah.
I'd have ripped his head off.
You could have given him a bad haircut.
I think you probably find a lot of people anticipate putting the prices up and sit and dwell on it for months and months and go, oh, I'll do it next month. And like you said before, you know it, you're in year 2.
Yeah, because you've not done 7% the first year and 7% the next year, now you're having to tell people, oh, it's gone up 15%, and that feels harsh. Yeah. It feels like, well, yesterday it was, the big 15%. Jump. It's a huge difference. So I think little and often is the way that usually works, unless you've had, obviously, you've got all your overheads to account for in your pricing, unless you've had something huge change there, just to keep it up with general inflation, I think is a good way to go. Speaking of your overheads and hidden costs, what is a cost that people never think about? So when you're deciding your prices and you've got to take everything into account.
I've just spent £1,000 on coffee.
Well, there you go.
£1,000 on coffee. So when we first opened, someone said to me, "Oh, you're going to be like one of those dead cool barbershops that does like whiskey and beer." And I said, "No, because..."
Do barbershops do that?
Yeah, I'd love to go to one. Yeah, but I have my own beer and whiskey in my own shop anyway. So, but I said, no, we're like, we love coffee. Like, coffee's a big thing of ours. Me and Reese were obsessed with coffee. It was a case of, you know, we're not staying in the hotel. We'd travel. Look, let's go and find a decent coffee shop. You know, it was just like a lifestyle. It was part of us. It was like the vibe. So we said, no, we're going to train to be baristas, which we did. We did 10-week training. So the guy Nigel, who used to own Java in Upper Mill, that became a back home. I asked him if we could use his coffee. He said, if you want to use my coffee, you need to be trained by my staff so you use it right. It's not just a bean to cup, it's a proper espresso maker. You need to do like proper Italian coffee. And I was like, you're speaking my language. So before we'd even opened, we spent every Monday morning training how to become baristas. And he said, I want you to be able to make it as good I want you to be able to work here if I need you to. So then after the weeks that we were there, we had a few meetings with him, and he's a brilliant guy, really good guy, really good businessman, and we got loads of advice from him. And then at the end he said, right, we'll do your coffee. So he did. So, but he's, again, that's one thing that's just gone up, yeah. So that's another one. We had to do a bigger order this time. So we had to do a bigger order. And yeah, people don't realise that we give everyone a coffee that comes in. And people will literally say to us constantly, I'm not coming for the haircuts, going for the coffee.
Well, that's part of your service.
That is
it's got to be included in your pricing, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I always remember when we left Stephen Kane, one of the things that was mentioned was, why do you think that you can charge more than us? I said, the haircut's exactly the same. We shampoo everyone's hair. We give everyone a coffee. We've got a factor in that. And they were like, okay. Okay. But that was it. We give everyone a coffee. We washed everyone's hair.
So you get it, really. You get the approach of looking at everything into your pricing.
So we went for breakfast a couple of weeks ago, and it was really expensive. But everything in there, they had all of the produce out, and it was almost like they were flaunting it on purpose to show you that the cocoa that was using, the bags of sugar that they were using, everything was homemade. And it was like, right, if you look at this building on a high street, it's going to be a fortune. The rents are going to be well high. I don't have any qualms about what people pay. What people charge is what people charge. Yeah. If you're happy with what you get, then you shouldn't worry about it. But I get it 100%. Being a business owner, especially when you've got things like the apartment, so obviously you've got some residential there, and I've had a house before that I've rented out, and I've seen the cost that goes behind that. The barber shop, I know all the hidden costs there. Coffee shop, restaurant, I've seen it all before.
I think you're maybe one in your own then, because I mean, me and Katie will certainly see a lot of clients come sort of through our doors that they'll start a business and they'll try to arrange, to set their pricing, and they'll forget about overheads and everything else that goes into it. And in the example of being a barber, they'll say, right, well,
what are your overheads? It's a barber shop.
Yeah, so they'll go, well, it's my time and I want to earn this much per hour. But then they forget about tax, about rent, about coffee, about the fluctuations in electricity. You've got to account for it. You can't have such a tight margin that one increase in your electric bill will kill your profit. A lot of, I think, so if anybody's listening who's not a client of ours, we'll have an accountant who, so like me and you, Alan, so I do your stuff on a monthly basis. If at any point so it doesn't matter when your financial year end is or when your VAT quarter is. Because I'm doing it monthly, you could say to me, I need to do something about my prices. I need to know what my overheads are right now.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah,
I mean, should we do this now?
No, we can do it later. But you could say that to me, and because
Yeah.
we're doing it on a live, I mean, we've just done your March year end, and we got them filed 6 weeks after the year end. Because we're doing it on a live monthly basis, any of the clients can come to us and say, what are my costs? Let's sit down and look at them. But some accountants will be strictly compliance only. So you'll see them once a year. They'll give you your figures nearing on 9 months after your filing date, and they'll just phone you and say, by the way, you've got $4,000 to pay and it's due next week.
Yeah.
Rather than what we've just done, which is I told you you've got X amount of tax to pay, but it's May now. It's not due till January. So you've got that time to budget and to factor that tax into your new price increase.
So I'll be honest, when you sent me that last week, I looked on and I saw what tax I owed and thought, shit. But then I looked at the date in which I had to pay it and was like, yeah, boy.
So you've got that to pay, but you've now got 8 months or whatever it is.
And I am that person that will get a tax bill and then panic to pay it. Whereas obviously knowing in advance now, I factor that in with work and what I need to kind of put aside for that tax.
Yeah.
Rather than getting it and going, shit.
Yeah. So we've got some quick fire questions.
Okay.
One of them being, what business expense annoys you the most?
VAT. You knew that before I even... VAT.
The giggles from Lauren in the background.
I thought you were going to say accountancy bill.
No.
Well, I was actually going to say not accountancy.
No.
Which one apart from accountancy?
Oh, if I didn't have an account, if I didn't have you guys, I wouldn't have got the building. I wouldn't have... There's loads of things I would not have been able to have done. So... VAT, because the turnover profit kind of differences is it annoys the life out of me. We can sell X amount of products retail, and the markup's good there. I get that, but we're selling products on like a really short markup on wholesale, and then we have to pay the VAT on the full thing. So I feel like it should be on profit, not on turnover, and it just annoys the life out of me. Every few months, it literally just clears a bank account. You get somewhere, you work your nads off, and then they take it from you.
Did you have to increase your prices when you went back registered then to account for that? Or was that like a difficult decision to make?
It was a very difficult decision. We are very high as it is anyway. And I feel like this is the part where once we've marketed a little bit more, once we've got a little bit more exposure, it's a decent company. It's got okay profit. You know, its turnover to profit is different. It's a massive turnover. The profit's not huge. It's not where we need it to be. No one's retiring. No one's like stopping working. Still got to do it every single day. We with the product company I can deal with because I understand that a lot more, and obviously due to Lauren's extremely intelligent knowledge of accountancy, we sometimes benefit from being VAT registered.
Size of her head.
We benefit from it because obviously we ship a lot abroad and we get the tax exemption, so sometimes it works really well in our favour. It's the barbershop. We can't put VAT on a haircut. We can't claim much back.
Yeah.
We can't claim. So the answer to your question, VAT.
VAT. What is the most satisfying part about owning your own business?
The sense of achievement is there. I walk around the building and I've literally been on my knees in there before thinking I need to sell it and it's too much, I need to scale down, I need to get rid of it. But then I go to sleep, come back and I walk up to it and I think, oh no, this mint.
Yeah.
Not going anywhere.
You've achieved a lot as well in a relatively short amount of time really, from considering what you've got now to just working in a barbershop. And
success is defined by what you think of it, and I find it completely. I'm not nowhere near as, it's not as big as other people's companies. Don't earn nowhere near as much money as other people. Even people in smaller shops earn a fortune. A lot more than what I do because our expenditure is so high. It's about £9,000 a month to be in that building. That's a lot of haircuts. Yeah, it's a lot of haircuts. That.
Yeah. So, is there anything next in the pipeline for you?
Day by day, it's surviving at the moment.
Yeah.
But obviously, I am very ambitious. And I'm not set on time because I'd say the past 2 years have been really difficult because I've had my children a lot more. And they take precedence all the time. Like, I don't care. Business is business.
Yeah.
That's another way of doing it. Business is business. It's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Work's always going to be there. HMRC will always want money. Your accountants will always going to want money. But your kids, they're growing up. And what's like when I'm with them now, I don't have my phone. It's there, but I don't go on my phone. When I've got my children, they take up 100% of my time and effort, and that I won't have it any other way. Dropping them off at school, picking them back up, anything like that. And then my little boy actually said to me once, "You've always got your phone. You've always." And I'm like, "Mate, I'm trying to run a business for you, you little dick." So then I've just kind of gone, do you know what? A 2 years break. I haven't travelled for 2 years properly. Like I used to. I used to be on a plane every other week to different parts of the world. And I've just started booking it all in again now. So travel's going back on the cards.
Yeah.
Now that we have like a set routine with the children and co-parenting with the mum. And I've got freedom now to do whatever I want with the product company.
Yeah.
So that means formulating new products, marketing them in different ways, doing some fun marketing.
Yeah.
Different.
I was talking to Katie about this before,
actually.
that you do some quite off-the-cuff marketing.
Off-the-cuff marketing. Like, do you like my cup?
I love the cup.
Yeah. Brendan came in yesterday with two Ruger
cups.
cups, and someone said something, and he said, "Oh, well, you'll have to fight Lauren over it because I've brought this for Lauren." We were all like, right.
So it's even things like that. So like we designed a hair powder. And I said to Reese, you need to look at the mock-ups for the design, the box. And he was like, right, okay. He didn't look at it. Didn't look again. And I thought, right, you know what? And this is. I'm just going to do my own box. So I did the box. On the box it said, sometimes I feel ugly, but then I look at my brother, I'm okay. So we've had tens of thousands of these made, and they're all over the world. And he was in Australia at the time, so I just sent him a box and said, your box of powder's coming. And he was like, it was about a week later, he went, I didn't even realise he said that. I'm like, well, but little things like that are really, really good for marketing. So, marketing can be done in different ways, and I think that if you think outside the box and do it differently, it sets you apart.
That's what's worked for you.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
It's been really interesting to talk to you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been good.
The Ledger Lounge is brought to you by James Scott Accountants in Oldham, Greater Manchester. Please like, rate and subscribe wherever you listen to the show. To find out how James Scott can help you build a better business, visit jamesscott.com. This podcast is a QPod production. Visit kupod.co.uk for more information.